Hello everyone, my name is Kirill and today we continue to speak about understanding of freedom in philosophy of a Russian philosopher Nikolai Berdyaev. Freedom for Berdiaev is not only the formalistic freedom of choice between good and evil. This is the formalistic freedom and not creative freedom. For Berdyaev, complete freedom is a person's ability to co-create good and evil. And it should be noted that all those definitions are only the attempts to characterize the different aspects of irrational mystery of freedom, which is inexpressible or can only be expressed approximately, only approximately. That is why we provide different definitions that don't contradict but complement each other. And speaking of formalistic freedom of choice, we must add that for Berdyaev, complete freedom, it is not even the freedom of will. He calls freedom of will school term that for Berdyaev, non-academic, non-school philosopher has negative meaning without any doubt. And Berdyaev recognizes the freedom of will, and defending of freedom of will is one of the most fundamental aspects of his philosophical concept. But for Berdyaev, freedom of will in understanding of Berdyaev and freedom as such is not formalistic classical freedom of will. He calls the term in its classical meaning, freedom of will, he calls this term he said that this term is not comprehensive. And that statement of Berdyaev is quite radical. And thereby Berdyaev challenged not only deterministic and anti-free views on human person, but also classical philosophical views on person's freedom. And he calls that concept as a school and without any real content. For Berdyaev, this classical concept of freedom of will is not enough to understand the true freedom. These concepts do not reveal human personality and do not and they offer false understanding of human person, and they offer false understanding of path that human person is called to take. And for Berdyaev, when such formalistic freedom of will or formalistic freedom of choice is absolutized, and when it is put to the center of anthropology, the person comes to that very arbitrariness referred to earlier in the last video, in our last talk. And this arbitrariness can have only some external, not essential restrictions, which can be moved beyond or change as required by internal personal arbitrariness.